This is 75-year-old Margarat Smith. On December 8th, 2021, she was arrested for stealing over $100,000.
All right, Ms. Smith, my name is Detective Holderfield. Okay. We're at 501 East Bay Street. That's the police memorial building. It's December 8th, 2021, and it is 2:36 p.m. Okay, you can read and write, ma'am?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Do you need glasses to read, or
I have had cataract surgery, and if the light is bright enough, I don't need.
So all I'm asking is if you could just read that top line right here out loud, and then I will read the rest
Okay.
of it. Now, did the officer that brought you down here tell you why you were brought
No.
down? Okay. I began an investigation and obtained an arrest warrant for you based on activity with Friends of the Jacksonville Public Library. Okay? Are you aware of what that could be about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what did you do with the Friends?
Everything. I was a volunteer, sorted books, packed books, eventually took greater responsibility, was a board member, became the treasurer, and then the president.
For a long time, right? 10, 15 years?
No, not that long.
Earlier that year, Margaret resigned as president of the Jacksonville, Florida Public Library without giving any good reason for doing so. 2 months later, the treasurer discovered the missing money during an end-of-year audit. He immediately went to Margaret's home and confronted her about the money. Margaret told him that she had given the money to a friend, so the treasurer contacted the police.
So particularly what brings you here, though, is withdrawals that were made on their account.
Yes, I'm aware.
Okay. To the tune of $120,000-ish.
132.
Okay. What happened to the money?
I was scammed in a romance scam.
Okay.
I was catfished. And I was promised that this was a loan. I was given documents that showed that this individual had money in a bank, and there were promises of repayment.
Okay. And who was this individual, or what do you know
The
them
name
as?
he went under, which I have since found was not the person I was dealing with, was Vincent Vessee, Vessee.
And how did you meet him?
He contacted me through Facebook.
Okay.
And I guess this was after we had a lockdown from the pandemic.
Okay.
And could I have some water?
Sure. So, Mr. Vincent, did you belong to any groups or anything of that nature? Did you just get a private message one day? Well, how did the first contact start, to the best of your
I had a request to become a friend.
Okay.
And from the information that he provided, he claimed to live in Miami. He claimed to have a daughter, have been widowed for 3 years. And subsequently, in looking at these kind of scams, I didn't realize the pattern.
Okay.
He claimed to be a graduate engineer specializing in oil cleanup.
Okay. Do you recall roughly when the first communication was?
Would have been in June of 2020.
Okay. So y'all had a online relationship?
Yes. And he subsequently erased that Facebook account.
Did you ever have any phone conversations with him?
Repeatedly.
So how would you call him? Or how would you have phone audio conversation?
See, what was the name of that? There's an app called, gosh, what's it called? It's since been changed to a different mechanism, but there was an app that you could either do just you could do voice communication or just email type.
Right.
And he would call me almost a daily basis.
So let me just make sure I understand. So you got a friend request on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And so within Facebook, there is a service called Messenger, which is like an add-on app that allows video chatting, audio chatting, or text messaging.
Right.
Okay. Did you do this within Facebook, or did he instruct you to download an additional app that you were texting? And
There was an additional app.
okay. And you don't recall the name of it?
It's still on my phone.
Okay.
Margaret had taken money from the library's account multiple times. The money she took ranged from as small as $1,000 to as large as $37,000. The money that was stolen was earned by volunteers, and according to police reports, it had taken the volunteers over 19,000 hours to raise the money that was stolen.
It's called Hangouts.
Okay. So I think that's a Google application.
And they've since changed it. They've upgraded. That's an old.
Okay.
And supposedly all of the conversations have been archived.
By whom?
By Google.
Okay. You've made a complaint through them?
No.
Okay. Did he ever send you any other contact information, a phone number?
Yes, I don't have, it's not in there. I have a whole dossier
Okay.
that I have completed that's in my apartment
Okay.
that, unfortunately my damn laptop is not working properly. I called it the Diary of a Scam, and I have documented all the transactions I made, all of the promises, the addresses, all of that information.
So since you mentioned transactions, how were you sending this money to him?
Bitcoins.
Okay.
He gave me a QR code,
Right.
and I took the cash, converted it to Bitcoins, and sent it off to where he had requested.
Okay. How were you converting the cash to Bitcoin?
Well, there are a number of places in Jacksonville that have terminals, I don't know what you call them, and you get registered with Bitcoin and put in your password and start feeding the cash, and it sends the. And in fact, in my photo app, I have have records of all of the receipts.
Okay.
Because he had requested that I send him copies of the receipts until the very end, and he claimed that his boys, of which I found out that was a scam too, were using his phone, and he didn't want them to see all the money that he had. So
When you did the Bitcoin ATM transactions, did you always send the money to the same wallet? Or did you get different?
as far as I know, they were the same wallet.
I mean, would he send you a new QR code each time? Or
No.
you use the one QR code that you routinely...
Well, I've got copies of the QR. See, this is what I was sending.
Okay. How many of these do you have?
I have no idea. Because you have a limitation of how many Bitcoins you can send at a time. It's like 1750.
Right.
So I took out loans, and I mean, not just as friends of the library. See the big G on my forehead that says gullible?
Not only does Margaret claim to have been sending the scammer all the money she stole from the library, but she also took out loans in her own name, and she gave them to him as well. If what Margaret is saying is the truth, what was her reason for giving a stranger so much money?
And the man that I thought that I was dealing with, I since doing a little investigation on my own, I found that he's not the man. I don't even know if I have a...
Did you ever inform police
No, I
about
never
this?
did. I never did. I was going to go to the FBI, but then I got tied up in having to move because I sold my house and
Okay. And what happened to the money from the sale of your house?
went to him. Now this supposedly, that is not Vincent Vesey. This has been photoshopped.
Correct. Stock photo.
This is, well, because that, and there's one with, I don't know, I think he must be an Italian. I tried to see what the signage in the back was.
Mm-hmm.
This is a picture taken in 2015, and in England.
Mm-hmm.
These supposedly were his boys. It's a lie. May have been supposedly his daughter liked to game, and I would send, I sent money to his daughter.
Okay.
And he sent me flowers, a teddy bear, and chocolates. And I found out later it was a stolen credit card. The florist called me.
Okay. Okay. So he just hired a local florist to deliver
Yeah,
him,
yeah.
Not through a common carrier. Okay.
Yeah, that's the end of the things involved with.
So this predates your involvement with him.
Yeah, this does.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. I see that you do start in July or so doing the Bitcoin transactions. What made you in September start taking the friend's money?
Well, he had a need just to, for a large amount of money to pay off, to be able to get his employees and him off this oil rig. And I am a very gullible person, and I don't know why I told him, but I refused to go to the friend's money, and he kept promising and promising that it was just a loan. And so I went to I had borrowed to my limit,
Okay.
and it was a source of money that I intended to borrow, not to steal. I had a promise of being paid back.
Okay. How did you believe the money was going to come back to you?
I have copies of a bank account with Citibank that shows, initially it showed $1 million balance. He claimed he could not access that money when he left town, and I was going to move down to Pompano Beach with him, and he was going to restore that, everything I loaned him.
When you talked to him on the phone, how did he sound?
I don't know what you mean. He sounded sincere. He sounded, he claimed.
So his tone of voice was Congenial.
Oh, loving.
Okay. Did he seem to have an accent of any kind?
Yes.
And
He claimed to have originally been from Albania.
okay.
When I asked him about, and he immigrated with an uncle as a teenager and had lived in this country, was supposed to, in fact I have a picture of him supposedly from a passport. He had sent me various documents, and at the bottom of one of them there was a picture of a man that was supposedly a passport picture.
Okay. Did you ever video chat with him?
No.
Okay. So, this was pictures from Community First. Okay. There's no denying that that is you
No.
conducting the transaction. Is there some reason you went to so many different branches to withdraw the money?
Because there was a limitation with the amount of cash that you could take out at any one time,
Okay.
I went to different branches.
Okay. And did the tellers inform you that they were doing currency transaction reports? And
No.
Okay. They didn't make you sign any documentation to that effect?
No.
Okay. Did they at any time warn you or question why you were taking out so much money from the library fund?
No, because I was the the authorized person. I was not a third party, or I mean, my name. The friends. There were two other people who could sign checks,
Right.
but no one ever did that.
Okay. So you had built a rapport with these folks. They knew you for the most part?
That I what?
You built a rapport with these tellers? Did you know most of the tellers that you were
No.
getting the large from?
No,
Or they were just
they were just random employees.
whoever was working there at the
Yeah.
time? Okay. And so when you take out, let's say, $30,000 in end of October, how long would it take you to move that through that Bitcoin ATM, or were there other methods that you were sending money?
Probably 3 trips because of the limitation as to how many bitcoins you could purchase in a day in a 24-hour period.
So did you have to create your own Bitcoin wallet before you could transfer these monies?
I guess that's what they called it. I had registered with Bitcoin. They actually had questioned me.
With whom? When you say with Bitcoin?
Well, Bitcoin of America was the
Okay.
entity that I
Yes.
dealt with.
Okay. Do you happen to know, did you send every Bitcoin that you retained out, or do you still have a balance?
I sent it all out. I have no residual funds. None of this money that I acquired was from our personal use.
Margaret claims all the money she stole was given to the scammer and she used none of it on herself. It appears that one of two things may have happened. She may have been very lonely, and the scammer was able to tell her things she wanted to hear and earn her trust. When her trust was earned, the scammer would make up these stories begging for her money, and to please him, she did what he asked. The other possibility is that Margaret is smarter than she appears, and she created a story about a scammer, when in reality, she has the money hidden somewhere. What are your thoughts as a viewer? Please share them in the comments below.
I purchased nothing. I paid no bills. I felt that I was the conduit.
But you chose to give a loan, though, right? That's personal. You gave a personal loan to someone,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you can look at it that way.
Unfortunately, I have to.
Well, no,
I mean,
that's fine.
You know,
I mean,
it's you know, I wish when I sat in this office 2 desks away that I got a call in June or July that Miss Margaret Smith was sending money to some guy she didn't know in Miami, and I had an opportunity to stop it then. But I get $132,000 missing from a nonprofit.
I understand. You don't have to.
Yeah. There's no mechanism for recovery. You haven't stashed any of it in Bitcoin. You don't think there might be any. I mean, Bitcoin's been volatile. The value could be far greater than it was when you were sending. In fact,
No,
it will be.
He was supposedly he was leaving the oil rig, and he was going to be back in Florida. And I didn't hear anything, and I kept sending him text messages. Never got a response until, I guess it was almost a week, and he said he'd been in the hospital. And so I questioned what was wrong, which hospital, where was he, and I got no response. And then he asked me for $5,000. And I said, no, I don't have $5,000. And then I stopped hearing from him until I got, it's all in Hangouts. He wanted to know, he said, I abandoned him. And I've not heard anything since.
What was your Facebook identity? What was your name at the time? Were you using just Margaret Smith?
I was just using my name, yeah.
Do you still have your Facebook account?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what is your current source of income? You have a pension, being retired?
I have a pension from the city of Jacksonville. I have a pension from the state of Florida from my late husband, and I have an annuity that I invested in when I retired.
Okay. This dossier you say that you've got with everything, is that digital or is it hard copy paper?
It's both. I have, like I said, I've been having trouble with my laptop, and I had printed out the whole story.
Okay.
Along with the documentation of the Citibank account, which I should have been suspicious when I saw what the address was, because it looked like the address was in the United Emirates.
Sure.
But I've got supposedly I did whatever that social catfishing site is. I went in looking for him, and I found a picture of a very different man who I believe is the true Vincent Vesey, who doesn't look at all like the guy that I thought I was talking to.
These images of receipts that you have, do you have those hard copy receipts still?
I do, but the problem is they're on, they fade.
Thermal paper. Yes.
Yeah, the thermal
Okay.
paper, I mean, some of them you can't even tell. No, I have all of that, but
Okay.
except for the last, I don't know, 10,
Okay.
when he asked me not to take pictures of them.
Right. But did you take pictures of them anyway, or no? You stopped?
I have them. I mean, I have
Okay, I got you.
the receipts.
Okay. Would you be willing to sign a consent to search of this phone and allow me to make a backup of this phone?
Yes.
Okay. This is your personal property,
Yes.
and it's not really directly tied to your theft from the friends. And it could be several weeks before I could return it to
Well,
you.
it's my only communication with the world.
And that's why I'm asking, because if there is any opportunity for me to find out where this money's went, And if I could have any opportunity to prove that this person committed crimes against you, these documents contained within are what's going to give me assistance there.
I have a couple obligations. I have a couple medical appointments that I'm scheduled to make. I need to cancel them. I'm supposed to be running a Christmas party for an organization. I need to tell them I'm not going to make it. I mean, I assume I'm going to be spending the night here.
You are going to be booked to the county jail.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe your bond was currently set at $30,000. You will go before a judge. There will be a hearing regarding that. Okay. If you're willing to sign a consent to search and allow me to try to get the data off of this phone, I will get that order written up and submitted immediately, within the day, to try to expedite any opportunity of obtaining information that can lead me to
So I just go missing. It said this is my only contact with the world.
I'm telling you, I'm asking you for an opportunity to help validate what you're telling me, because all of the facts lead to me, Miss Smith, is that you went to a bank account that you had access and you stole money that you weren't supposed to use in that way.
Okay, I understand that, but my immediate, do I have a phone call to call a family member?
Yeah, absolutely. You will be able to make phone calls.
It's going to be, me just going up missing is going to be problematic.
Okay, what, do you have family local?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Who is that?
Well, I have two brothers, one named Rick Nooney, another brother named Tim Nooney, and a sister named Nancy.
Okay. That are here in Jacksonville?
They're in Jacksonville.
That communicate with you regularly, check on you? They care for you.
We are not a particularly close family.
Understand.
They all have their lives.
I get that.
It seems like this is what is the alternative? Not to give consent, and then what pathway do you go down?
I will be limited, okay? But I understand that, I don't want to cut you off communication if you post bail. I mean, you will be able to make phone calls from within the jail while you're facing charges, while you're booked prior to the filing of
Is that on a payphone?
Okay. I'm not certain how everything works. I mean, there is opportunities to make calls at no cost to you. They are limited in time, and I'm not sure how that system works in its entirety. But we do not deprive people from communication.
I have some medical issues.
Okay. And we have a medical staff that's not something I can provide for you.
No, I've got all my medicine sitting at home.
No, I understand. And a nurse will check you out upon being booked. I'm going to be the one that walks you across the street and gets you booked. You will be provided care. Okay. And like I said, I'm not qualified to know anything about.
I'm just. This is a new experience for me.
I understand.
You have my consent to go into my phone.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to get the form that requires you to fill that out and power it off so that we're able to power it on to get the data off. Do you have any questions for me?
Not that come to my mind immediately.
Okay. All right, give me a couple minutes, all right?
Margaret would be charged with one count of organized fraud, and she would agree to a plea deal. In exchange for her guilty plea, she would receive no jail time, and she would be ordered to pay $700 a month in restitution for 5 years, at which point she can choose to stop. The judge agreed that due to her age and medical history, jail would not benefit her or the community. We would love to hear your thoughts on this case, so please share them in the comments below.
All right, Miss Smith. Want to hold your hands out for me straight? I'll keep them in the front. I'm just going to go loose with them, all right? So, Please don't do anything foolish. I don't think we have to worry about that. Y'all done? Hang tight, I'll get you your cane.